Hey, everybody. We are live.
Hello. How's it going, everybody? We're
I feel like this
you
is like
you got to mute your computer,
such a
Greg.
big production every time.
Why?
It's like a miracle every time it works. Oh, look, we're live. There's
not to
things
me.
happening.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
On this beautiful Thursday afternoon,
It's
May
47 degrees and
what's
raining.
the date today?
I don't know. May 27th.
May 27th.
On the
Crazy.
cusp of Memorial Day weekend.
Which a year ago was right around the time with George Floyd, wasn't it?
Yes, that was yesterday. Was right? Yesterday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday was.
Tuesday was 1 year anniversary
Tuesday,
of all that
yeah.
stuff. Do you remember where you were when you first heard about that?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was in the parking lot at Sam's Club when I heard, because a friend of mine from California actually texted me.
And it was actually on Memorial Day that the first
Yeah.
video was released, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
sitting in my kitchen on my phone,
Yeah.
feeding the dogs,
Yeah.
pulled up Facebook. I saw this video. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. It was kind of crazy. It's weird to me that it's been a year, right? I mean, it just seems like that's.
Does it seem longer ago than that?
No, it seems like quick.
Oh, really? Because to me, it seems like a long time.
Well, because a lot
time
has
ago.
happened in this year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, a
it's
lot. has
Officially,
happened.
the worst year of my humanity is this last 2020.
For
There's so many
Yeah.
things.
yeah, many.
With the George Floyd, with the riots, with COVID, with my dad passing away, which we just had his funeral this last week
Yeah.
up north. That's why I wasn't here last week. I was on vacation, and then had the service there last week, and really good service. Had a lot of family in town. It was hard, just like anybody who's gone through that. I mean, I plan those kinds of services here at Northridge, and I have planned a number of them. I don't even know. I don't want to count. It's not like I keep a
Yeah.
count of how many I've done. So, but it's something I do as part of my job here is plan services, and I help my mom plan the service. But it was,
How was that to plan service for your dad?
I remembered some things that he told me before he passed away that he wanted at his service, like music especially.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remembered songs. But other than that, it was more of like, what did my mom want? What did she want to do during this service, and trying to let go of some of those mechanical things that I just instantly insert into what we do here at Northridge just because I, out of familiarity or whatever, and just be open-minded to what she wanted to do with trying to keep those things that my dad had asked me, like there's certain songs that he wanted for sure. But that, strangely enough, wasn't the most taxing of all the things that happened this last week. It was mostly just relationships and people. Got to see a lot of people from out of town, relatives, cousins, aunts, uncles, all that stuff, which was really good. But anytime you have that many family members get together, there's always going to be a little drama,
Yeah,
and a little bit of heavy emotions, and it's weird. I don't know. Maybe there's people out there that had lost somebody during COVID or during these restrictions that kept you from being able to have a service right away. Because on one hand, as I'm meeting with families and Ben and Doug, we were, in the past, we'd been right in the middle of all this intense emotions because, generally you have a service relatively close
It's
to
still there.
when the person
Yeah.
passes away. So all that,
Mm-hmm.
and we do a lot of that work for them because you're not thinking clear. But we've had, he passed away in December. We've had 5 months of sitting on this, waiting for this moment to happen. And I don't know if it's I don't know if it's worse or better, because I think having all that time gave us a lot of time to prepare and plan for this service, which is one of the reasons I think it went so well, is because we had all that extra time. But I think there was a big part of me, and I can't speak for my mom or my brother or sister or my niece or any of my other family members, but you're almost reserving or waiting on sort of moving on.
That's what I was going to ask when you mentioned the length of time. Like you mentioned family drama and stuff. Do you think that some of that was a result of the time and not like people not being able to grieve or have closure? And that you're kind of just storing that, like you said, and waiting.
Yeah, I mean, I think
kind of a weird thing.
there are moments where the drama is just going to be there, no matter how long.
Yeah, I mean, there's always
whether
drama.
That's the individual or that's just
that situation.
Natural process of dealing with things, and it's not normal, but it's just natural the way we experienced it all because of wanting to wait with COVID and all that stuff, and there are going to be people here. Like we have a service here next weekend for Tim Strickland, and Amy's had to wait for a long time,
over a year,
and Steve Morrow passed away the day my dad passed away, and Susie's going to have the service in July, I think, right? And so it's such a different experience. Something that somebody said to me up north, and it's probably something that somebody said to you in the time of somebody passing away, but time heals all wounds. And does that count the waiting for the service that we've had to wait 5 months, or how is that factored in? And we're not to bounce from something super serious to something totally dumb and random, but it just seemed like one of the worst cliches, because I don't know if time heals all wounds.
I think time helps some wounds, right?
Okay.
But then there's times where the wound gets reopened a little bit, right?
And what if you lose a limb? Is that
there's some wounds that are just not healable. But you can put a prosthetic on and make it work. I don't know.
I need an emotional.
How far are we going to chase
an emotional prosthetic?
How far are we going to chase the analogy here? But I think time heals. Yeah, there's some wounds that time heals for sure. But when I think a situation like this, I mean, you lost your dad in December, and like you mentioned, not being able to go through that grieving process and at the time, and then also the closure that comes with oftentimes with the memorial service or celebration of life, but that time was extended, and so it's maybe that wound is still there. And I would imagine over this course of this last several months, 6 months, that there were days that it was heavy and on your mind and heart. And then there were probably other days where you kind of went through life and maybe you thought about your dad a little bit, but maybe it wasn't the most upfront present thing. I would imagine that there's like a little back and forth there, and there probably always will be, right, when we lose loved ones. But to wait this long to have that service, I don't know if you have the time in that 6 months for a lot of healing. Maybe there's some, but it's kind of like you got the bandage on and then it's ripped off or something. I don't know how we want to phrase it, but when you have the memorial service still, and then you got people and family coming in from out of town and all that stuff that are dealing with the emotions together. And then the weirdness of going through this emotional time together, but also, but I haven't seen you in so long. How you doing?
Yeah,
right?
It was definitely a mixed bag of emotions, because there's some really good moments with the family, and then there was some just really hard moments with the family, and with obviously everybody going through their own process of grieving. So Diana, thanks for your comment there. Sorry for your loss, and thanks also for your 81 here in Georgia. We appreciate that. It's what,
47.
47.
Now, we had 87 2 days ago.
That is true.
So it was crazy. It was 87 degrees and humid, and I was outdoors for a good part of the afternoon with my son at something at his school,
You're probably killing.
and I
you
was
hated it.
dying.
Yeah.
I hate the heat. I was dying. I was like, man, he better know how much I love him, because this is
Yeah.
No,
sorry to start on such
20
a heavy note. Let's. What were you gonna say?
no. Then yesterday was 20 degrees cooler. It was like
20 days.
67,
Right,
and
now
it was
it's
beautiful.
another-
I thought yesterday was perfect weather.
And
for me.
and
another
20
20
degrees off. You know,
And then tomorrow it's gonna be like
back to
27 degrees.
warmer.
No, I don't
What?
know. I don't. I'm just joking. I don't know
I
what
think
it
it's going
is.
to go warmer tomorrow.
It's but it
and it's supposed to
but
be
not-
back up to the 70s
Yeah.
next week.
which is nice,
Yeah.
but it's just crazy. Anyway, time heals all wounds,
Yeah.
Mr. Schultz.
So yeah, I kind of laughed at that one. There's a lot of I don't know. Maybe it's the time of year. I don't know. Maybe it's this last year, or maybe it's the weather. But I feel like I don't know if it's anything in particular, because the same things that bother me are still bothering me. Like this dumb pet peeves. Do you have any pet peeves, Greg?
I have a few.
Yeah. Would you like to share?
How long do we have?
What's like the top 3 worst pet peeves of yours? And while he's thinking, if you have a pet peeve,
Yeah,
put it
share
in
your
the
pet
comments.
peeve. If you have
Yeah.
a pet peeve, my pet peeve is one of my biggest ones. I think is just traffic in general. Growing up in Southern California, LA area, it's like it's a part of life.
Yeah, people think traffic here in
Yes.
Minneapolis is bad.
No,
No.
it's not, and it's never crowded at any stores here, which is like. But I found myself. I was at Sam's Club earlier. I found myself upset that I had to wait behind someone at Sam's. Sam's was busy today for Sam's, but I was picking up some supplies for church here, and I had some like toilet bowl cleaner and some trash bags, and I'm thinking, do we really need this? Because I don't want to wait behind one person in line. But I mean, I grew up and spent the first half of my life in California, and traffic is just a way of life there. I mean, you're in your car for 20 minutes to go down the street. So,
But a lot of that is just you're in a line of cars.
yeah,
It's
it's
not,
like just go. If everyone would just move forward.
see, part of my problem, and this is why I'm not the type of person to put bumper sticker or fish on my
No.
Jeep,
Yeah.
because I don't want to embarrass the family. I don't want to make a
Right.
bad example.
Ben just mentioned that in his sermon this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
While I was gone?
I know you were
That's
gone, but he
hilarious.
said the same thing.
Um,
God doesn't need credit for his bad driving, is what he said.
That's hilarious. But part of my issue is with the moving vehicles, because I think the faster you go, like the worse people get. Like, and it's not the end of the world, but one of my pet peeves is when people, I don't think they're intentionally doing it, which makes it worse to me,
Yeah.
is they sit out and hang out in your blind spot,
Yeah.
whether it's on this side or that side.
The blind spot.
You know,
guy,
especially the people that like are bullies in traffic, and then
Yeah.
they just sit there. Like the guy on my way home from up north with my brother, this guy came screaming up behind me. Like I'm going 78 miles an hour, which is like 18 miles over the speed limit.
Leadfoot.
I was sort of going with traffic.
Yeah.
I was sort of passing a guy who was on the right, and I was just inching by him. This guy comes barreling up behind me, and he must have been going like 83, 85. And as I get past the guy who I was passing, I moved over into the right lane. Well, he doesn't go barreling past me. He
Just hung
just
out.
stays in my blind
Yeah.
spot.
I hate that too.
It just
Yeah.
bugged me. It's not that, nobody crashed, nobody got hurt. We didn't, have
Yeah.
road rage or anything like that. It just,
But you thought about it, huh?
I was, for
You
like
thought about it.
3 miles, I was
Yeah.
steaming.
Yeah.
And my brother and I, he kind of feels the same way. So it was just like this echo chamber inside of my Jeep for about three
And the
minutes.
other guy had no idea how mad
Right,
you were.
right.
That's what's funny.
And that's what
Yeah.
makes it more annoying, is because I don't make it a habit, because I don't trust people on the road that they're not going to see me if they want to move over into that lane. So I make a habit to stay out of people's blind spots.
Mhm.
Now, I see them all the time, and so I'm fully aware. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
What's your pet peeve on the road? You said this was your pet peeve.
No. So yeah, specific other than just general traffic, pet peeve is people driving slow in the left lane,
Yeah.
which is now illegal here in Minnesota as
What?
of like last year. Yes, it's illegal. Like you can get a ticket if you're driving
Under the
if you're
speed limit?
impeding traffic.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If you don't move over, impeding traffic. But unless it's drastic, they're probably not gonna pull people over for it. But that just bothers me. It's kind of like just if you want to drive slow, that's fine. Just get
Stay in the
over.
right lane.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a passing lane, or a me driving faster than you lane. So, and I don't speed. I'm not a crazy driver, but I mean, I go over the speed limit, but I don't speed like some people I know.
Like who's that?
I don't know,
Just
but they're
kidding. Call somebody up right
yeah.
now.
Call out your
live.
worst driver friend live here on Facebook.
You know what else? Not related to driving. You know, one of my pet peeves is like I watch a lot of baseball.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, is baseball broken? We haven't had a no hitter in like a week.
This week.
What's going
yeah,
on?
It's broken.
It's baseball's broken
Tonight, probably tonight or tomorrow, we'll have a no hitter. We had, who was it? Urias, his last start had
Julio.
a perfect game going into the sixth.
Sixth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it seemed like there for a while. Every night there was like a
At least
no hitter going into
no
six.
hit
or seven.
bid.
But what we do have, Andy, is quite possibly the worst play I've ever seen in baseball history
That
today.
was hilarious.
If you've seen the highlight,
The Cubs and the
it's
Pirates.
all over. Yeah, the Cubs and Pirates in a day
Yeah.
game today.
Was that Baez?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he's getting this great credit for something.
It was just
he
bad
did what,
defense.
It was terrible, like terrible defense.
terrible infield play on
And
the
terrible
Pirates.
just-
yeah.
Just not alert and not understanding what is
If
happening.
you're curious what we're talking about and you're actually interested, if you go to Google and Google Pirates Cubs
Horrible play.
horrible play.
Crazy play. I don't. It's
Yeah,
all over.
It's today. It happened today in
stuff
this
today.
afternoon game. But you know, my pet peeve in baseball is when a fan gets a foul ball
Oh yeah.
and then they cheer like they just won the World Series.
Yeah.
Like they're amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know why it bothers me so much. They're high fiving their buddies. You know, it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Sit out. You
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. I don't know why it bothers me.
What about the guy that catches the foul ball?
If they save like a child, it's gonna smash into
No.
a kid's or like an older person's body
Yeah.
or face,
Right.
and they save them. Cheer for
Yeah.
that.
Right. But what about the guy that catches a foul ball, turns and gives it to a kid, and then like turns and puts his hands up and like wants all kinds of praise for it and
Yeah,
credit?
that's awful too. You
Just
know,
keep the ball at that point.
I hate it because I've been going to baseball games since I was 6 years old, and the first game I ever went to, my brother and I were just talking about this when he was in town. We went to Old Tiger Stadium, and we went with our neighbor who had season tickets, and our season tickets, I was resting my right arm on the visitors dugout.
Wow.
That's how close we were.
Yeah.
And I was
You remember who they were playing?
no, it was so long ago.
You were 6.
I would have been, yeah, at that time I would have been seven-ish, yeah, somewhere in there.
Trying to think of who would have been in that visiting dugout.
Probably like the White Sox maybe, the division game or something like that.
Frank Thomas, maybe? No,
No, that would have been before that. This was like Alan Trammell, Cecil
Ooh.
Field. I saw Cecil Fielder hit one
Yeah.
out of the stadium, like
Yeah.
out of
He
over
did that
the
a
lights.
few times, yeah.
Yeah, and we were on the first base line, so it was so clear. It was at night.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. But the closest I've ever been to a foul ball is in those seats, and I had my popcorn resting on the top of the dugout, and I was scoring like a total
Mm-hmm.
nerd. I think you know what? I don't think I was as young as 6. I think I was a little older than 6, because I, had an idea how to score a game. But a foul ball came, and I'm scoring the game, and it bounced right in my popcorn
No
bucket.
way.
Yeah, and my glove was sitting on my lap. I was looking at my program,
Yep.
and that was the closest I've ever been. I was so disappointed. And I've been to
It's
a
sad.
bunch of baseball games since, and have never even
Yeah.
been close
I've
to
never
catching
been
a
close
foul
to a
ball.
foul ball. in my
But
whole
whenever I go to a baseball game, I always look around to see if there's any kids, because I know if I get a foul ball,
life.
you gotta give it to. Do you have
Yeah.
to give it to the kid that's at least within like
Yeah.
a 4-seat radius, one row each from in front and behind, and then 4 seats either direction?
If you're a grown man, you definitely have to give
Right.
it to.
And so
the kid.
it determines
Yeah.
how aggressive I go after a foul. But you see guys like diving over rows,
Yeah.
like 3 rows down, trying to get a foul ball. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So kind of along the same thing. Like growing up, the Cubs were always like my second favorite team.
Cubs?
Well, yes. And I grew up Dodger fan and Angels. The Dodgers and Angels weren't like a rivalry. Like some cities like Chicago, like you love the Cubs and hate the White Sox, or vice versa. Even though one's NL, one's AL, but that was never really existent for the Dodgers and Angels. Most people I
It
knew
was for
like
the Giants, though, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as like same city teams, AL, until the Angels won the World Series in 2002, then all of a sudden, Angel fans became super obnoxious. Orange County people, I'm calling you out. A lot of friends in Orange County. If you wore a Dodger hat or shirt anywhere, Dodgers, they start whatever. So anyway, but I always liked the Angels and Dodgers growing up. I've probably been to way more Angel games because there was no one ever there. We could go. I lived a little closer. It was easier to get there, but we could go, and after like the 4th inning, you could walk in. You could sit anywhere you wanted. But anyway, I grew up watching a lot of Cubs because in the summertime on the West
WGN.
Coast, 11 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
WGN Cub games on it. Harry Carey, and
Yeah.
it was great. So I love the Cubs. I love watching them. But you know, they
Can
started.
you do a Harry Carey impression?
Not really. I could. It's probably better like Will Ferrell imitating. Like, hey,
You could imitate
Hi.
Will Ferrell imitating
Yeah.
Harry Carey.
What was it? If the moon was made out of hot dogs, would you take a bite or something like that? What do you say? Something like lame. But they started the tradition of if opposing team hit a home run into the outfield, they would throw it back. Right?
Yep.
They'd throw the ball. And I always remember thinking, because I've never been close to even a foul ball at a major league game. Caught lots of them at like minor league single A games, but I remember thinking like, if I ever go to Wrigley Field, I'm gonna take a fake ball with me.
Oh,
That way, if I catch a
Catch a
real
home run.
ball, I'm gonna throw the fake one back.
Yeah.
And then the way I start
But see, you'd be going
overanalyzing.
there as not a real, not really a Cubs fan.
Yeah, but people wouldn't know, and there's a lot of rowdy people in those bleachers,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Then I started overanalyzing, thinking, but what if like the ball boy comes out and gets it, or like the infielder or whoever picks it up, and they look at it, and then they like
Notice
show
it's a
everybody
fake
it's
one?
fake, and then yeah. So
Have you ever seen that one video of that kid who catches a foul ball and he gives this other ball that he had to this like pretty girl behind him?
I didn't notice. I've seen a
He
video
does
like
like
this.
this
I didn't
ball
notice.
swap.
I
Like,
didn't notice the switch. no.
Yeah, he switched it. It was pretty
Oh.
clever.
Hey, slick.
Yeah. Anyway, so what? Any other pet peeves?
Another pet peeve is this is a very personal one, but I hate wet socks.
Ugh, yeah.
I hate when I'm wearing socks in the house and I go in the kitchen or the bathroom and there's water, step in it. It's just like, yeah, socks have to come off.
Gross.
And I burn them right then.
You-
No, I got to take them off. And then another pet peeve, I think, what I just mentioned a little bit ago before we went on, is the use of the word persons. Like,
Say in a sentence. Like, what do you
like
mean?
there were 3 persons walking down the street. I don't.
Oh, instead of saying people,
We have a plural for the word person, and it is people.
Peoples.
Right? Peoples. That's like more than a few people. What is that? Different groups of people. I don't know.
Would you hate peoples more than persons?
Yeah, I mean, either one.
There's no need
Could
to say
take a hike.
peoples.
There's no need for peoples. There's no need for persons. Right?
On my persons.
On my person is different,
Oh, okay.
which is still a weird way to say, like, oh, yeah, I have something with me. It's on my person. No, just say it's in your pocket. I mean, but the persons is weird.
Yeah.
Along with that, I think the English language
I was
in
just
general,
gonna say the English language is weird
we could do away with the letter C.
because it's K.
We could use K or S.
What about ch?
We could make something up for that. But
So,
we don't need it. That's what I'm
Stephanie
saying.
Uchman, Stephanie and Jeremy. Like,
Yeah.
if you took the C out of your name, it would be the
What
same
would it be?
thing.
It would be. You could use
Uchman.
something else without the C.
Uchman.
STH.
That's Tea. Yeah.
We'd have to make something up. I'm saying it's not perfect, but we could probably do without it.
Yeah, the English language is kind of goofy.
It's lame.
In fact, I pulled
Really
up a list of some, having somebody say "time heals all wounds" to me,
Yeah.
kind of just open up,
Platitude. What was your thing? You said you're not in the mood for. What?
I
You
don't
said
remember.
something to me.
I
the
said
other day.
something yesterday that somebody said to me that I thought was hilarious, but it was an older person. I don't know if that makes a difference. Like I know Joe, Eileen Stirrup's dad comes in and he says some really funny stuff.
Yeah, he's
good at it,
he
but
got
there are a
one-liners,
bunch of
yeah.
there are a bunch of ones that are just dumb and they drive me nuts and they're just kind of annoying. Now I don't have any hard feelings towards the person that said time heals all wounds.
Sounds like
to
you
me.
do. But
know,
I think
their-
it'll get better
their
over
intent-
time.
Their intent was nice, but I think a lot of these sayings people say them just to say them, and
Yeah.
they're just pointless. Some of them aren't as bad as the other one. Anybody ever say "good things come to those who wait"?
Yeah,
Is that true?
I don't know.
Not always.
I don't know. Not always. No. Yeah.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. What do you
Yeah.
think about that one?
Well, it's not.
about- what
it's
is-
not the definition.
It's not the clinical-
It's yeah.
But what about practice? Like, especially in sports.
muscle memory? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah. You do the same thing over and over again to get the result that you want eventually.
Yeah.
So that, anyway.
That's completely sane.
Such is life. What about that one?
I don't even know what that means. I feel like that's when people just give up on something. Such is life. Like I
is
don't have
life.
to care anymore. Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
the
that's-
people use that one, especially in church.
Yeah. I wish church people wouldn't say that
Yeah.
so much.
It is what it is. That's one.
Yeah.
Somebody in my family says it a lot. I'm not going to say who you are, but I'll say,
It is what it is, man. That's what we're doing. You're going down your list, and then I'm going to say it. Say whatever it is. Or how about early bird gets the worm?
yeah. What about
Yeah.
that?
But the second worm gets to stay alive. So, I mean, that's not good for the worm, right?
I don't know. Is there any sayings that just drive you nuts? Any sayings that just grind your gears?
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but we've already covered a few. Yeah, I don't like that everything happens for a reason.
Age is just a number.
Yeah, well, it is if you write it down, I guess, but it's I mean,
It's neither here nor there.
it's
What does that
somewhere.
mean?
It's somewhere. It's here or there. I mean,
Anyway, if
I
you
don't,
have
I don't
any-
know this list, by the way.
I
This
know.
is just fun.
I'm just reading some of these.
Yeah, do it. That's good.
There's somebody down there that I don't know. That's why I keep
Oh.
looking down there. If you got any really
Invite 'em on.
bad
Let's see who
sayings and platitudes,
we got a special guest.
Yeah, if you have any sayings that just kind of annoy you, or it doesn't make sense to you, throw them in the comments section there. We're going to take a quick break from just talking about that random stuff and just talk about some things that are happening here in the next couple weeks here at Northridge. I was putting together this idea, this concept for something that we're going to show on Celebration Weekend. And I was thinking about the different events that we've had this last year because I'm trying to put together some pictures.
Okay.
Guess how many events we've had total this last year? From June
So you
2020
mean like okay?
to May 2021. How many events? Northridge events.
Including like kids and youth, which has
Sure.
been very little, no kids really, but
Sure.
so all church we've had like the men's ministry did the Big Chill, which is a
Yep.
church event, till last week or 2 weeks ago we had the open house.
The graduation open house. That's it.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
For all church, yeah.
Um,
Whew,
so
what a rough
not very
year,
many.
man.
So part of what I would love to have you help me with is if you have pictures from either of those two events, if you could send them to me at andys@nrf.life, that'd be awesome. Because Celebration Weekend is the 5th and 6th of June, which is not this weekend, but the weekend after that. And
Wow, yeah,
it's crazy.
that's crazy.
It seems like it's a long time ago since George Floyd happened, but it seems like it just kind of crept up on me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, that's why my reaction's kind of like, what? It's
Confusing,
crazy.
yeah.
Well, we've been planning, and like we see this stuff on paper or on the calendar, and we know it's coming to some degree, but it's when you think about it, like, yeah, it's wow, okay, that's next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a time where we just thank God and worship Him for things, and we take time to honor each other. And so if you have pictures, go ahead and send them to me. And then there's going to be, during the service, there's going to be an opportunity to have an open mic where you can share in the service, thanking God for Him using somebody in your life. You can also submit a video if you're unable to be here at the service, or you just think that the video would be better. I would love for you to send in. It doesn't need to be long. In fact, if you kept it to 30 seconds or less, and do it
That way, landscape.
this way, not this way.
So we can get them all the same. Crop 'em and-
Landscape.
yeah.
That'd be great. Try to be in an environment where it's quieter, so we can pick up all the audio on your microphone, on your device.
Yeah.
And then you can send those to andys@nrf.life, and we'll put those together and play them during the service. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So that's June 5th and 6th. On the 6th, dude, I heard today, Tammy told me that there are like 12 people who want to get baptized.
Pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That was way more than I was thinking.
Mhm.
And so if you are out there and you want to get baptized in the river,
Yeah, we got room for more.
we have plenty
Yeah.
of room on the
Yep.
6th. If we have to be out there for an hour doing baptisms, we will be out there for 3 hours if we have to.
Yeah.
But go ahead and give us a call. Let us know. Give Tammy a call in the office or talk to one of the pastors. And we'd love to have a conversation about baptism with you. The other option for baptism, if you're not uncertain about the river, we just started another Saturday night, June 15th, I think it
19th?
is. The
12th.
It's just, you guys decided when I was on vacation,
Yeah, I
so
know.
I don't know.
I think it's the 12th.
Yeah, June 12th. You're right. Saturday, it'll be kind of right at the end of that Saturday service.
Yeah.
And it'll be actually out here right in the
In
atrium.
the tub.
And
Heated.
we'll be using the tub.
Yeah.
And so if the river is uncertain for you, we can do the tub here on June 12th. Give us a shout. Let us know. And we'd love to be a part of that with you on the 12th.
Yeah, so the baptism, the one in the park, the Otsego Park picnic and all that, we do need people to RSVP.
Yes,
For
talk about
food.
that for a second.
So that's always a lot of fun. We gather, we have a great time up there together because we have a cool little picnic and just time to eat lunch and hang out with people and that. But it's fully catered this year. So we need you to RSVP if you can. And so or if you're planning to attend. So you could go to the website and go to news and events.
There's an image for it.
There is an image that says Celebration Weekend. And as you scroll down on the news and events page, you click there on Celebration Weekend, it will take you to the event page where you can RSVP.
Yep.
For you and however many family members may be coming with you. And yeah, do that. This is the deadline this weekend. So are you RSVPing as we speak, Andy Schultz?
No, actually, I'm making a correction. The baptism's on the 19th, not the 12th.
Yeah, that's what I thought I didn't say. I said the 12th for sure. I was thinking of something else that's going on the 12th. But yeah, 19th is a baptism here. So, but RSVP, go to the website, go to news and events page, scroll down just slightly. You'll see an image that looks like this sign. I'm looking at one here posted. There's not one behind us, but cool. It says Celebration Weekend.
Kind of like a sunset-ish
yeah.
looking with the Celebration
Yep.
Weekend.
Click on it.
Yep.
Takes you to the page. Number of people coming with you. RSVP. Boom, you're in.
Yep.
So
And
there you
there's
go.
a deadline for that, which I think is
This weekend.
This
Yeah.
weekend. So you
Yeah.
want to do that.
Because we need to order
Your last
that
chance will
food.
be Sunday, right? Maybe Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
Memorial. I think it was Memorial Day was the deadline. So.
Yep, May 30th deadline, Terry Gilsrud says. Thank you, Terry Gilsrud, who, by the way, coordinates our events and does a fabulous job doing so. I
Yes.
mean, just amazing.
Dude, I was blown away with the graduation party.
So good. So
the open
good.
house, just the way it was organized and the food. Like I was a little skeptical of the
Tater.
yeah, but man, you
tachos?
start you start loading
Yeah.
up all that stuff, and
You know,
put
it
the
turns
cheese
out
on
that
top
tater
of
tots are
it.
good,
I think
and then all those toppings are good.
yeah,
And when you put it all together, it's all good. It's all good.
yeah. My stomach.
Do you know the menu for the celebration picnic, Andy?
I don't.
Let me read it to you. How does oven fried chicken sound?
I love fried chicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is fried in an oven. Sounds like a fire hazard, but but our good friends over down the street over there,
Center
Center
Cut.
Cut, always do a fabulous job and have amazing food. So
Yeah.
oven fried chicken, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
There
Can't
will be
miss something.
gluten-free options
Okay.
if someone needs that. Broccoli salad, which their broccoli salad at Center Cut is phenomenal. You don't like broccoli, do you?
Yeah, I don't mind broccoli.
Okay. How about fresh fruit salad?
Fresh fruit salad sounds good.
Depends on the fruit for me, but yeah, okay. Pickles. I do like pickles.
Not a fan.
Really? I
Not
like
a fan.
pickles. Pickles are
And you know
good.
when, especially when they put it on the bun at a hamburger stop.
Oh,
You know, like Culver's.
yeah.
It's funny.
On top of the bun.
when
they
you
put-
eat
yeah.
in the house in Culver's,
Yeah.
and you sit down, they put the pickle on the bun. When you
Yeah.
get it through the drive-through, they don't do that. But all that
Mm.
pickle juice making the bun all soggy, it just got ugh. Yeah. Anyway,
Sounds like a pet peeve. You got pickle on top of your bun, pet peeve at Culver's.
so I got pickle. It was like our whole
Pickles.
pickles.
I don't know. It just
Small
says pickles.
baby dills.
It says pickles.
I don't mind baby dills. Those are pretty good.
It says pickles.
Have you ever just drank pickle juice?
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah. Not a ton, but yeah.
Okay.
That's like the original Gatorade. What do you call it? Sports drink?
It's pickle juice?
Yeah. People used to do that, like,
Hmm.
because you get
Electrolytes?
Electrolytes. You get the salt. You get
Uh,
vinegar. It's like a energizing thing.
you
Who is it?
remember
There's
that
a-
movie?
There was a running
what
back.
are electrolytes?
Yeah. No one knows.
You know,
No. What is it?
it's from that one Idiocracy.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I
Where
haven't
they had
watched that in
that
so long.
special drink that they were
Yeah.
feeding the plants that killed them all.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
yeah.
Anyway,
Carl's Jr. I miss. That's a West
dude,
Coast
I
thing.
saw that an advertisement for Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
and they had this new sandwich burger thing. It looked amazing. And I remember the one that we used to have down in Rogers that's no longer there.
Hardee's, yeah.
Oh, that was Hardee's.
the same company.
Carl's Jr.
But
is the same.
Hardee's doesn't have the same. It's not all the same.
Okay, so
It's the same
Carl's
company,
Jr.
yeah.
was like in the smaller towns, further away. From
Well, Carl's Jr.
civilization.
was more of a West Coast thing, and
Oh,
Carl's Jr. bought out Hardee's and then transferred all the Hardee's into more like Carl's Jr., but they don't have all the same. Carl's Jr. has something called the Western Bacon Cheeseburger.
That sounds good.
Yes, you get your cheeseburger, you get your
What's Western about?
onion rings on it, you
Onion
get bacon,
rings, bacon.
and you get barbecue sauce.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's like
So good.
Texas style Western
kinda,
bacon.
I guess, whatever.
Western bacon
It's good.
cheeseburger.
It's good.
Yeah.
But so dessert, we have various ice cream and non-dairy novelties.
Non-dairy
frozen treats.
novelties. What does that mean?
I don't know, if you can't have dairy, you can still get some kind of frozen treat, popsicles or something. I don't know. Sounds
Okay.
good. And bottled water.
Ooh.
So you don't have to drink out of the river.
Is it purified or is it fresh spring water?
I think it's distilled.
Just so it
I don't
tastes like
know.
dust.
Yeah, I don't know. No, bottled water. And if you really have to have something else with your lunch, you could bring a different drink if you want, like Pepsi or Mountain Dew or coffee or something that is okay to drink at a public park
Yeah.
at a church event.
It's gonna be really amazing.
Yeah, it will be great.
We obviously are hoping for good weather. You know, if it's raining,
It's always a nice day there.
it is.
It's always
We've
a
only
nice
had
day.
to cancel out at the park one year, and we ended up just coming here,
Yeah.
and that'll be fine. Whatever. But
It's gonna be a nice day, Andy.
it's gonna be a nice day.
Don't give me whatever. Okay. It's gonna be a nice day. I'm looking up the extended weather forecast for that day, which will change 10 times between now and then.
Yep.
But
the following weekend, you know what that is, Greg?
Sunday the 6th, forecast, 84 degrees and sunny.
See, it's going to be a nice
Oh, partly cloudy, I mean.
Which actually, some people don't mind because if it's like 80s
Yeah.
and sunny, there's so much open space not covered that some people get a little too hot.
Oh, yeah, I love partly cloudy.
Yeah.
I'm all about partly cloudy.
I'm all about the sun. I like the sun, the heat.
As long as it goes behind the clouds
the
every
sweat,
once in a while.
You know. I wonder if the people that are going to get baptized want you in the water. Yeah. Because then that would be nicer if it was super sunny. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So keep us up to date, Greg, with how many times that forecast changes between now and
I'll try.
June 6th. The following weekend after Celebration
Yes.
Weekend is our annual meeting week here at Northridge. That'll be Sunday following the 10:30 service, probably right around noon or 11:45. And right, it usually starts around noon, right?
About noon, yeah.
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 We're going to be talking about the budget, voting. If you're a member, you can vote on next year's budget. Recap of last year's. Not a whole lot related to the building expansion because we already did that. We had a separate meeting for that. But I'm sure some of that will come up, updates about when we're going to be able to start. I think the newest one is in July, right?
Yeah. There's been some delays on
the city side.
Yeah.
But we're
Still
still
going.
moving forward with doing that expansion. That'll be starting hopefully in early July. But this meeting in June is their just normal annual meeting, and it's all budget stuff related. We'll be streaming it online on the website, and they'll be doing a electronic voting system like we have in the past, right?
Yep.
So just I'll be announcing that again this weekend. Just make sure that you know. And I know Greg wants to share something about a really cool new thing that we have available for you, a resource that we have available for you, Greg.
Yep. It's an app.
It's an app.
It's an app.
Appetizer?
We got the Northridge app.
A
Nope.
Northridge appetizer.
No appetizer. This is
Application.
Northridge app.
For
You
your
could download. It's
smartphone.
already ready to download. If you're an iPhone user, you could go to the App Store and download. Just type in the search Northridge Fellowship. If you are a Android user, you could go to the Google Play Store and type in Northridge Fellowship. Download that thing. The cool thing is this syncs with our CCB, our database system. So if you've ever gone to like RSVP for something, or you get needs lists, or you go on in your groups, different things on CCB, which we refer to as My NRF also, but that's just our church database system, and this app syncs with it. So when you download the app, you enter your phone number and your email that you use on CCB, and it syncs you up, and it's pretty cool because you can do a lot of stuff from here, from this app. We will have, I'm just going to say it right off the bat, one of the coolest things is the ability to check in to an event up to 2 hours before that event. So, for example, if you are a parent and you have children and you bring them Sunday mornings to their classes, and you go through the check-in computers down there and they get the name tags and all that, you could do that ahead of time. You can check in from home before you come, or in the parking lot or whatever, and you check in the whole family. You get them checked in, and then we'll have these. It gives you this little barcode, and we're gonna have these cool little scanners down there, and you scan it, and then your name tags just spit out for you, and you put the name tags on, so you don't have to stop at the computer and look up your family and all that stuff. You can do that ahead of time for any event, up to 2 hours before the event starts. That's just one cool feature, and then there's lots of other cool stuff. We're gonna have. There's links to where you can watch the live stream. You could watch previous worship services, the archive there. We'll have our YouTube content there. We got social media links, but we also have a 1-year Bible podcast on there, which is kind of a generic preloaded thing. It's just a guy reading a couple passages. But in the future, we look to have something a little bit more Northridge personal, I guess, like something that we are producing out there. Maybe in the fall, which sneak peek to the fall, we're going to do this all play where the whole church is going through the Gospel of Matthew for several weeks, through the whole book, the whole Gospel of Matthew, and we're going to put out some content around that through the app. Another thing, you mentioned the annual meeting. We have an annual meeting page already ready to go on there where you can actually watch it. You can see the annual meeting booklet right now. It's on there. You could click there and scroll through the booklet of what's going to happen.
Will you be able to vote from there?
You can't vote from here because you can request a ballot, but the only reason you can't vote from here is because voting, we have to verify membership first.
Okay.
And so there's no real good way to do that from the app, but you could do everything else from there. And then you could request your ballot. You could text questions during the meeting if you want those addressed. All that you could do from here, and then you'll have to get to your email to get your ballot to vote. But there's that. There's ways to connect on here. There's you could send prayer requests. Also has a link to all the groups that you are in CCB. So any group that you're a part of in the church, you can access right here. And one of the other cool things
so it must
is,
mean you have to log in and all that stuff.
Yes. So when you log in, you set up your profile. That's what I was saying. You put your phone number, and I think it asks for your name and your email. Use the email that you use to log in on MyNRF, and it syncs it up. And then so it pulls in your info. And so your groups, it links to online giving. So this is through PushPay, the service that we use for online giving. So it syncs that up here. And then also one of the cool things is just an events tab that is, there'll be a couple featured events like the picnic, but there's a calendar that's really easy to access, like a church calendar. So something's coming up, you got to scroll through. It's just a little bit easier. It's in your pocket or purse if you're a woman that carries your phone in your purse. Or like Andy is often seen wearing a fanny pack. And
often, very often.
I've never seen that, but
I got my back.
Might be a thing now. But wherever you keep your phone.
I know what to get you for your birthday next.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to wear
Dodgers
it.
fanny pack.
Probably won't wear it, but.
A Cubs fanny pack.
No. Not a fanny pack kind of guy.
Who is? I heard they're making a coming back.
I heard they're, yeah, but it's kind of one of those like ironic things, right? Yeah. Like, oh, look at this is like.
You ever watch this show, A Million Reasons?
No.
It's the dude from Psych, the lead.
I haven't watched that either.
What? You haven't watched Psych?
No.
Rubel, are you still here?
No, he tells me about it at least once a week.
Ugh.
I think I watched 2 episodes. I watched the first 2. It's not that it was bad. It's just, I don't know.
It's goofy. It's
just I'd rather watch Seinfeld for the 8th time in the last year.
It's a tragedy.
I'm just joking. No, yeah.
Are you caught up on This Is Us?
Yes. Jordan and I watched that last night.
Yeah. No spoilers.
So no spoilers, but no, just kidding. Well, it's funny because that's part of the episode.
Right.
The spoiler. Yeah. Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
A little slow.
Clever. Any other announcements?
Probably.
We're taking a break for Wednesday nights with youth. There is no youth next weekend. We start back up on the 9th. I know the 9th is the baccalaureate service.
That's baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate.
That was a combination of baccalaureate and bachelorette.
I never knew how to say it. Anyways.
Bachelorette.
Baccalaureate?
Baccalaureate.
Where does that mean?
I have no idea.
Where did that come from?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Probably
anyway,
French.
It's out of Christ Church in Otsego. It's going to be outside, but that's on the 9th. And even with that, we're still going to have youth group, that'll be the beginning of our summer youth group stuff on Wednesday nights. And the youth did such a fantastic job of collecting. I think it was 1,400 some pounds of donations to go to Cross.
Fill the truck, yeah.
That I challenged them to get over 1,200 because they had half of that with only like 4 days left.
Oh.
And so I said, well, if you get over if you double what you had, which had been over 1,200 pounds, then I'll let them shave my head. So
that way you're wearing a hat?
No, they haven't done it yet.
I haven't done it yet.
I'm going to do that on the 9th, the first night back.
So you're going to let it grow really long?
Yeah,
before
maybe not. I don't know.
2 weeks more, whatever it is.
So the next couple Wednesday nights you get off. This weekend is Memorial. There's only infant through 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
There's no Treasure Land. So
just
we have
littles.
Our mission partner, Matt Hutchcraft, who's going to be giving the sermon. It's gonna be really good.
Or missionary in residence.
Missionary in residence.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Matt's an excellent teacher.
yeah, and you
by the way.
guys
Yeah,
have probably,
it'll be
if you've
good.
been around for the last 6 months, you've seen him a couple
Mm-hmm.
times. So that'll be really good.
By the way, shout out to Matt for just doing junior high last week off the cuff because Brax was not feeling
Oh,
well
yeah,
Sunday
Sunday
morning. Had to
morning.
go home, and
Yeah.
and of course it was the first week Jaden wasn't here. Who had previously
did he
been
do
doing
both?
junior high. Yeah,
High school
well,
and junior high?
actually I don't know, but I just saw him back there doing junior high.
That's right, I didn't
just
ask you
jumped
to
in
do
and do
one.
it. Yeah, he was down there,
Oh, okay.
but
Well, you have to be down here, I suppose.
yeah,
Maybe if I was here, then you could have done it because I
Maybe.
could have managed the.
but Matt probably did a better job
That's not true. Why do you say that?
because Matt does a great job. Why don't you don't think Matt does a good job doing things?
I'm not saying that, but
That's what he's saying. He doesn't like you,
I'm
Matt.
saying that you you do a good job too.
Well, Matt does a good job, so he'll do great this weekend.
Anything else that you can think of? One last plug for me is I don't know. Do I have to beg? I don't want to beg. We're getting real low
Do it.
on people to run our stream for the weekends during the services Saturday. and
Yeah, we need
Sunday.
that. Yeah.
Would love for you to come and talk to me about being a part of the team that runs the cameras during the worship service. You don't even really need to be all that
Yeah.
techie or computer. I can teach
Yeah,
you.
you don't have to like be any type of professional
No,
videographer or
It's
anything
pretty
like that.
simple.
Yeah. I could
And
do it.
Lillian,
Yeah.
before she left and resigned, she made this beautiful, really easy to follow infographics that are now
Oh, really?
around the computer.
Wow, I haven't even
yeah,
seen that.
It looked like it was out of the manual.
Well, she's a graphic artist,
Yeah,
so she's
she was
yeah.
amazing. And so
Yeah.
all that stuff is there. I'm happy to teach you once a month. If you're
Yeah.
interested, would love for you to join the team and do ministry with you, and try to make the online experience as best for people who are joining us online.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot of people who are doing that. We get the numbers, we see. I mean, they're watching everywhere. Like Japan, people are.
Right.
There's somebody watching
Yeah.
in Japan. There's somebody in. Where is it? Somewhere in.
Oh, is it Illinois, Chicago area? There's some in Texas. There's often in Florida, especially in the winter if we have snowbirds. But
There was some people though. Over
yeah,
in like
overseas.
overseas.
Scotland or something,
Yeah,
England or
I don't
something.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then also the thing is this time of year is cabin season. People get out
Yep.
of town for the weekends and they still join church on during services online. So, it's kind of funny because we've been streaming for several years. Like we were doing this about 2 years before pandemic,
Yep.
pre-COVID, and it's been a great thing, but it's not like a new thing, and it's not going away. We still have the last several weeks. More and more people are coming back that they're saying, "I haven't been here since February, since last, pre-COVID February or March, and this is my first week back in church." And so we're getting more of that. But even with that, I think this week we had 30% of our attendance online,
So still a couple hundred
Yeah.
people watching online.
and it's
every
usually
week.
between 30-40%
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, and so we want to continue to try to improve and make that as good as possible.
Yeah.
And that means we need you. We
Yeah.
need your help. Would love for
do.
you to join our team and run some cameras with us.
Mhm.
So get in touch with me, andys@nrf.life. That would be awesome. Anything else, Greg?
No, but you do also get to look really important back there behind a computer, and people look back and like, wow, that person must be really important. So it's kind of
And
cool.
honestly, if you do like technology,
Yeah.
we got some cool
We
stuff
got some
back
cool
there.
technology.
We got this beefy Mac. We got this really cool Samsung curved screen, a joystick to control the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Shout out to an awesome tech team, volunteers that we have.
Yep.
Tim Lowenstein and Mike Reshitar and let's see, Scott Whitman's not tech team, but he's been, instrumental in helping some of that go. Who else? Some volunteers that have been. It's Tim
Well,
and
other than
Tim
our
and Mike
regular-
do a lot of
Other
just
than our
tech
regular
stuff,
weekend service team.
well, I mean, yeah, just getting us set up
yeah.
to have the awesome tech.
A big part of that
things.
was Tim Lowenstein and Mike
Yeah.
Reshtar.
Yeah. Awesome
That
guys.
helped me, get all that stuff set up and
Mhm.
know way much more than I do.
I don't know. Way much more.
I know that was hard.
English is dumb.
It is.
It's just,
It is
and,
a weird
and we
thing.
make it dumber.
Anything else? I had this. I wanted to end with this thing that I saw online the other day.
Is it a fancy little image, nice sunset image or something, and it says "Time heals all wounds" in front of it, or what?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a quote by David Attenborough. You know who that is?
David Attenborough.
Yeah, he does the Planet
Deep
Earth series.
in the jungles.
Yes, he's
Okay,
this
yeah, go
old
ahead.
British dude.
Yeah, I love his voice.
I think he's like 130 years
Probably,
old. I
but
don't know.
Keep talking, David. We love it.
He had this quote, and I want to see what you think about it. If you collect, I hear it in my
I'll
head
hear
in
it
his
in
voice.
his voice. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you know who he is, just listen to this in his voice because I'm not going to even try.
He did all the Planet Earth
yes
stuff, and
Yep.
Yeah, there's a new one on Netflix too, like Colors of the World or something like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yep, and he's started to do
Wild
more.
Boys,
but
if
he's
you're a
like
fan of the
he's
Wild
like
Boys.
the oldest naturalist, environmentalist
Yeah.
that kind of around right now. Not the best, not the most revered or whatever, but he's a documentarian and he's a naturalist. He loves the planet, loves the earth, loves animals, and all that stuff. And he promotes, especially in his more recent episodes, he has a spiel at the end, at the beginning, at the end of each episode, where he really talks about what we have to do to help save this planet, in the future,
Conservation stuff.
Yep, conservation, all that stuff. But anyway, this is not really a message about that. It's more a message actually about people, which is not something he always talks about, as he talks more about animals. If you collect 100 black ants and 100 fire ants, which would be the red ones, and put them in a glass jar together, nothing will happen. But if you take the jar and shake it violently and leave it on the table, the ants will start killing themselves. Red believes that the black is the enemy, while black believes that the red is the enemy, when the real enemy is the person who shook the jar.
Yeah.
The same is true in society, men versus women, black versus white, faith versus science, young versus old, etc. Before we fight each other, we must ask ourselves, who shook the jar?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Now, let me ask you two things. Like, one,
Interesting.
and what do you think about that quote out there? Greg, what do you think? Is that true that until we're instigated, we fight? And then also, who do you think shook the jar?
Well, I'll tell you so I get it in a very personal level, because one time I was outside of a McDonald's. We were coming back from river rafting, actually, a group of us in Northern California. We were coming down south. We stopped at it. It was really hot for lunch, and I sat down on a curb, like after we were eating, before getting back on the bus, and I sat down unknowingly in a like swarm or pile or colony or whatever of red ants. And next thing I know, it was just like I could feel fire going up my back. And fortunately, my friend was there, had his large like Coke, and just dumped it on my back. And like, so I shook their jar. Like, it's not my fault. I sat down on all the fire ants. But that's great. It's a great quote, because I immediately, what I started thinking about, we ask, is like kids. Like, you could take kids from any walk of life and they'll play together, and they'll hang out and they'll play in the playground. The younger they are, especially before that, the world, I guess, whether it's their parents or, environment or things, shake their
that
jar.
Innocence and naivety.
They don't care. They don't even see each other as different, right? Yeah. They just play. And they don't think about like, well, my parents are from this background and your parents are from that. They just play. There's that innocence there. And so I think the world, as we grow, our influences, whether it's in the home or in the neighborhood, or I don't know what kind of media we take in, whether it's news or what types of stuff we read, or whatever we're taking in, it does tend to shape and mold our perception of others, and that could be good and it could be bad. Often it's bad. And man, I think what's interesting is, as an adult, as grown-ups, I think we could sit in the same room with someone else and not know anything about the other person. And it'd be cool to, interesting experiment is just pluck people from different neighborhoods, different contexts, and just say, nothing about this person, just put them in the same room, to share a meal together and see what would happen. And I bet they'd get along. It'd be awkward, but I bet most people, the longer you talk, the more you have in common, right? And maybe your jar's been shaken a little bit, but I don't know how. I think if you believe in good and evil, if you believe that God is good, and if you believe that Satan is real and there's this evil force in the world motivating or prodding or something, that jar shaker influencing, then he uses little things in our lives to like make big things and create conflict. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of words that
And
hopefully
do you
make some
think there's a
sense.
difference? I think there's a difference between like what you were saying. If you took this person and that person, like two people, and put them in a room, versus this was saying 100 of this diverse versus 100 of this opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
There'd be a difference.
any amount of like the what do they call the mind meld of the crowd or the madness? There's a
Yeah,
book
yeah.
actually called The Madness of the Crowds by this English guy. I can't remember his name.
English people love the word madness.
The Madness of
yeah.
King George.
Madness.
But
So-
there was the psychology behind when a bunch of people get together and they're in a crowd or massive amounts, like putting 200 ants into a jar, in the same jar. There's something different that happens there as opposed to just like a one-on-one scenario. It's Douglas Murray is the guy's name who wrote The Madness of the Crowds. And it's really about gender, race, and identity. But he's a conservative British journalist and political commentary. He was actually on a podcast, I don't know, I want to say about 8 months ago that I listened to. I don't know if you caught that one. Really good.
Okay.
But he talked about just the psychology of the mob mentality.
Mob mentality, groupthink, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Go ahead. Were you?
No, I was just going to say, I see a difference between that, you know, like I think you can attribute that same concept to like what happened downtown last year with all the riots and the burning and all that kind of stuff.
Because it was protests and it was peaceful until a few
Somebody
people
shook the
started.
jar.
Yeah. A few people do something and then it just kind of.
Versus, like, I think what we all want to see is just the conversation that can happen at a more molecular level where, hey, let's just sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Let's just have a conversation one-on-one. It'd be more interesting if, like, the leaders or the, said leaders of any of those groups or just even an individual could sit down, have a conversation with somebody on the opposite side of that fence and just talk.
Yeah. Yeah. The crowds, 100 people from one context and 100 people from a different context and you shake that jar.
Get mess.
Yeah, it can. But I will say that what I was going to mention, so one class I had in seminary taught by Dr. Joseph Kim. Shout out to Dr. Kim. He was awesome. But I met one of my best friends in that class. And this is how we met is the first day of class, we were all just kind of waiting in the hallway. And Dr. Kim wasn't there. And at first it was kind of annoying, but it was intentional. And he shows up and he gives us each this little sheet and we had to fill out some stuff about ourselves. And then basically we had to then find the person that is most opposite of us. And I ended up pairing up with my buddy Victor Chias Risabon, who we were supposed to be like the most opposite, but within like 5 minutes of talking, we realized how similar we were and how compatible.
How did you determine your opposite?
I honestly don't remember.
Your opposite persons.
There are just some of the questions. I don't remember what it was, but we were supposed to like score ourselves on certain things, and it was just like likes and dislikes and background or I don't remember exactly the specifics because within a couple of minutes we were like friends already. It was just kind of crazy, but not that like you would meet it's a seminary classroom. We're not going to meet someone that we're going to immediately, have conflict with probably. But I just thought it was cool because we ended up being pretty close, and if I lived closer, we would see each other a lot more. But just talked to him on the phone the other day, and he's awesome. He's taking over the world one piece at a time, piece by piece. I keep telling him. He's a pastor, a friend of mine in Anaheim, and high capacity guy. He's way smarter than anyone else I've met. So that's where we were different. In the intelligence, the smarts thing.
Oh, come on.
But
You're a smart guy.
No, Vic's a high capacity guy and just does everything really well. And but just it was interesting. We were supposed to be opposites, but or at least in that class, the most opposite. And
well, who said that opposites attract?
Yeah, I don't know.
That 80s.
Yeah,
is that another platitude
that's
well,
well,
it's go full
true
circle?
in some things, right? Magnetism, magnets,
Sure.
right? Polar
Take
opposites.
2 steps forward.
That's Paula Abdul.
Paula Abdul. Yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
said. She did the dance with the cartoon in the music video, right?
Yeah, that's right. That cat thing. Was it a cat?
Yeah, I don't remember. Anything else?
That's
before
probably
we-
about the same time you went to that Tigers game.
Probably.
They probably played it on the PA over between innings. And you were
Um,
probably dancing, trying to get on the screen. Instead, foul balls were landing in your
I
popcorn.
know. I was so disappointed. If you have any thoughts about that ant thing, I'd love to know
Yeah.
what they are. I just thought it was a great quote.
It is a great quote.
And
I wish we had him reading it.
yeah, maybe we could get Brax to read it. Yeah.
I bet Brax, given the time, he could come up with a David Attenborough
voice.
impression.
Yeah,
Brax, if you
he
don't
does
know, is really good at voice impressions.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to wrap up, and I keep derailing things. But top 5 voices that you would have narrate your life, or just that you could listen to.
Me?
Yeah. What's your top 5? Like David Attenborough. Like he's great narrator. What? I could give you.
Why don't you go for it? Because this is like I've never even.
One, and this is definitely a personal thing.
Crossover.
Sure.
James Earl Jones.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. James Earl Jones should be on everyone's
Morgan
list.
Freeman.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
on everyone's list. Vince Scully is top for mine.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
be
Vince
a
Scully.
Dodger tie-in, but still, it's like great storyteller too. So he can make even my life sound really cool. So for Vince Scully, yeah, Morgan Freeman, James Earl Jones, David Attenborough, and Werner Herzog.
Werner.
Yes.
I knew you were going to say.
I would listen to him read the phone book. He would make it sound so dramatic
It's
and
such tragedy.
German.
It would make it sound like a tragedy.
yeah, kind of tragic and romantic and violent.
If you don't know
So
who
the-
Herzog is,
Werner Herzog.
he did a lot of documentaries.
yeah.
He does some acting,
Yeah.
but he's probably
He was in early episodes of Mandalorian. He was the
Yes.
client, right?
Yes.
Or he wasn't the client. He was like I forgot his character, but he was like the go-between. Like he's the guy that Mando
Sure.
was. Yeah.
Like that's spoiler.
Yeah.
But if you watch season 1, you
Oh, come on. No, this is a year and a half later. No, spoiler. Get out of here.
in season 1, he would be like who you would think would be the client, except for at the
Yeah.
very end. Yeah. But he's got this really distinct, unique sounding voice.
It's not just the German accent and the sound. It's like the cadence, the way. It's not as frustrating as like William Shatner
one of
cadence,
his
but
most interesting works
Yeah.
pieces is Grizzly Man.
yes, the Grizzly Man.
And it's a documentary
Oh.
documentary about this guy who goes out to the Alaskan wilderness and lives with the grizzly bears.
You gonna spoil this one?
No. And Herzog is the
I wonder what would happen if you went into the wilderness and lived with grizzlies.
right. Yeah, right before they go into hibernation. Right when they're trying to bulk up on all that, all of as much
Extra
fat as
meat.
possible
Yeah.
to store all that energy for when they go into hibernation. What'll happen, do you think?
And what kind of and a German guy, what kind of film would he want to?
As a great
What's that
soundtrack.
German word? The taking joy in the
I don't know.
discomfort. Schadenfreude.
I'm Korean,
Freude
so I
or
have
something.
no idea.
Schultz. I thought you were German. Schadenfreude. Or something like that. I'm butchering. But it's
No
taking.
sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Yeah, it's taking delight or taking joy in other people's suffering.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's a word in German. Isn't that crazy?
That's a Nazi term. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. It's yeah.
Anyway, I like a lot of those James Earl Jones.
Yes.
He has one right now, like where he talks about all the change throughout all the years, but not baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball it stayed the same all throughout the years.
Well, it's from
Field of
Field of
Dreams.
Dreams. Yeah.
And then he's obviously Darth Vader's voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd take just James Earl Jones without the Darth Vader.
Yeah, you don't need the breathing.
Yeah, the breathing.
The asthmatic
apparatus.
James Earl Jones.
Morgan Freeman is a good one.
Yeah.
I always thought, like I know you're just saying British accents make it. You said something about dramatic. I don't remember what you said.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But I've always liked British accents. I
Mhm.
think they're interesting sounding. I'm sure there's somebody British accent.
You could be the dumbest
Like even
guy
Bear
on earth.
Grylls. Like I like listening to Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Like even though his show wasn't as I was gonna. That's the nicest way to put it. When Man vs. Wild first came out, everybody was in awe, and then it wasn't what it appeared to be.
Turned out he was
But
on the side of the road, just and staying in the Marriott,
He's running
overnight,
through some tourist attraction,
putting IKEA furniture together,
and then
in the
staying at a
background.
hotel at night.
But I still love Bear Grylls.
Yeah, and he's
my
still
kids love his shows
a
too.
legit
Yeah,
survivalist, and
Yeah.
he was a
he's
special.
just showing you
forces-
how to survive. He
Right.
wasn't actually surviving.
But I
this
like
stuff.
his voice. I like
Yeah,
him talking.
yeah.
And I think that's part of what makes, maybe Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So who would?
because I can listen to him.
Yeah.
Actually, Adam Duritz, he was the Counting Crows lead singer. He was
Yeah.
just on an episode of, and he has an amazing singing voice, and he actually his speaking voice and you can hear his singing voice in his speak. A lot of people sound different when they sing,
Yeah.
but you can hear his that unique drawl that he's got when he sings, in his actual speaking voice. I don't know. There's no twins or Viking. Like I wouldn't want.
GA
Who's the PA?
or PA?
Yeah,
not
Paul
GA, sorry.
Allen.
I don't know why G. But yeah,
I wouldn't
Paul
want Paul Allen narrating my life. It'd be way more exciting than my life really has been.
You got to be kidding me! Oh my! He gets so. I don't think I've ever heard anyone get so like wrapped up into a game as a commentator.
Yeah, normally media is supposed to be pretty
Yeah.
neutral,
Yeah.
but not PA.
Well, you can hear guys that are
You can
clearly
tell when
fans
he's
of the
super
team, but he's
depressed.
like someone
And he's
in your living room watching.
Like when the
game.
Vikings, like fourth
Like-
quarter, they're losing. There's no
Yeah.
hope for them to come back.
You'd think he'd be used to it
He
by now.
tries so hard to like stay enthusiastic,
Yeah.
but you can totally tell when
Yeah.
he's like totally.
Yeah, the tone is like
Disenfranchised.
kind of like this one's over. Kind of.
And the Vikings, they bring it back down to the.
Oh, that's funny. That would be funny to have him narrate your life.
No.
Okay, so if we're going like, sorry, Mom, if you're watching, if you're going like someone who might accidentally slip and say a few bad words, in this case, probably a lot of bad words, I'd go Samuel L. Jackson. Go, because like no matter what, he would make
It'd be interesting.
whatever you're doing like be pretty hardcore and sound pretty tough.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't think off the top of my head right now. Without like, I'd want to, look, and then it would be.
Well, we had some good ones.
It would be terrible.
Look, there's a reason why most of these names we hear their voice a lot, right? Because they're David Attenborough's been around forever doing nature stuff, and James Earl Jones and
Yeah. Well, there's a reason they get
Morgan
hired to
Freeman,
do that stuff
right.
for their voice.
iconic voices. Oh, Ving Rhames, the Arby's commercials.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We have the meats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got the beef, the meat.
We have the meats.
No, where's the beef? That old lady. What about that one?
That's the only. Where's the
No?
beef?
Okay.
Then they got the there's the dude who is doing the McDonald's commercials where he's like ba-da-ba-ba-ba. He's like, when you go to McDonald's and they ask you for 2 napkins, you say give me more napkins because you'll need that extra napkin or whatever it was. Like I can't remember.
I don't
He's-
remember this one.
He's always he's like the the guy behind the curtain in a lot of these mutant movies. He was the guy at the end of the Bourne Identity movies. He was like the guy who made Let's see. You know what I'm talking about? This is older guy, shorter.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like, he'd be in charge of something. He was in X-Men. He was the guy who made Wolverine. Brian Cox.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I had no idea he
That
did
guy.
McDonald's. Yep.
He's doing a
I had no
McDonald's
idea.
commercial. Yeah. It's anyway. He's got an interesting sounding voice.
I haven't watched those Bourne movies for a long time.
Yeah.
It's so good. You have to watch those now.
The third one
Yeah.
has an awesome car chase scene. It's probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Next to what's that one car heist movie that had it was the Italian Job.
Mm-hmm.
The Italian Job has a fantastic
Yeah.
car chase scene, but
Mini Coopers, right?
Yep.
Which
But
is
the
weird.
Bourne,
Why didn't they use Italian
Italian
cars?
like a Fiat
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like Ferraris or something.
Murcielago. Is that an Italian car?
Sounds French to me. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Merci?
Merci.
That's French, isn't it?
Merci beaucoup.
But they use like these little British cars.
Yep.
Like Austin Powers drove.
Yeah, baby.
Right. It's weird.
Austin Powers. Still, have you watched that lately?
No.
Yeah.
No, why would I watch?
Because Mike Myers is awesome.
I know.
So I Married an Axe Murder. Have you
That
ever
was
seen that?
fabulous movie.
Yeah,
Underrated, like all-time great, I think. Yeah.
it's a good flick.
Yeah. We always end up talking about movies. I like it.
Is that your sister?
That's my sister, Christy, with a giant heart. Fitting. She has a very, very big heart. My sister's got, good heart for a lot of people. She's probably gone, so I could still talk about her. No.
How many sisters do you have?
I have three sisters, two older,
And you're
one
the
younger.
only male.
The only boy.
Are we allowed to say that anymore today?
Yeah,
the only-
I give you permission to call me a male.
Okay.
Yes, but yeah, Christy's the oldest.
Okay.
8 years older than me.
8 years. So
8 years.
You're the
So
little,
I was a little
are
brother.
you the youngest?
No, I got one
Oh, you have a
sister
younger
who's younger,
sister.
2 years
Okay.
younger. But Christy, when she was in high school, was like cheerleader, like popular, the class clown. 8 years older, and I was like at the age where I was young enough that I
You're
wasn't like
8, 9 years old.
yeah, I wasn't the bratty little brother. I just remember she would take me around places. But I do blame her for my hair loss because
She says, keep going.
She said, keep going. Okay, I'll keep going about the hair loss. When I was 10 years old, my sister wanted me to be cool and sprayed sun in my hair, that like highlighter stuff. And I used to have really blonde hair. And then it
You had
turned it
blonde
red.
hair?
I had
No
blonde.
way.
Yes.
Okay, we talked
did.
about this a couple weeks ago about bringing in old pictures.
Yeah, I had really blonde
There's some
hair.
funny old pictures that we dug up that are with me and my dad. And so if you,
Yeah,
I'll bring
Kim
in
showed me a few.
the one with the stuff on my face.
What?
Oh,
I don't
man.
remember seeing that.
Yeah,
You had a
there's-
mustache or something?
Okay, you can stop now.
No.
No, he was holding me, and I had gotten into
Oh, okay,
something
yeah.
sweet, and there was
Yeah.
like all over my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you bring in a couple, I want to see this blonde hair of yours,
I'll
and then I
find
want to
some.
see your senior picture. I'll bring in a couple of mine.
By then, my hair was darker. My hair, no, seriously, it was blonde until I was about 10. And we always joke, I don't know, it's probably
That's fine.
coincidence. We joke about Christy putting sun in my hair, and then it turned red for that summer, and then it turned like just started getting brown and then darker.
Did
And
you have a
then
full beard when you were in a senior? in
I
high
had
school?
one when I was a child, yes.
I remember that one picture.
I have my
that-
baby picture.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
picture that you had.
hmm
Uh,
No, I did not. I think at various times I had a little bit of like fuzz on my chin, kind of like yours. I
don't
did have a little red that would come in my
Red.
beard a little bit. Yeah,
know. Okay,
lots of blonde. If you look,
it's all gray right
I don't
now.
want you getting this close to my face, Andy.
I'm not. I don't want to get that
No,
close.
I
to
did
your
have a
face.
little gray. No, now it's gray. I did have a little blonde
It's gray.
that was always mixed in, especially in this area. But yeah, for the most part, dark. And then my hair just went more like dark brown. But and then it just started.
So what do you think it would
slowly
be
coming
right
out.
now if you grew it all out?
It would be
So that should be the
Brown.
other bet next year. Is
that I grow my hair.
yeah, if they get to
Yeah.
1,500 pounds of donations, you have to let it grow for like 6 months.
I thought about it during the quarantine, like because I let it go for like over a week without. And okay, secretly, what I always have wanted to do
Secretly, It's not a secret.
Not a secret anymore, but I'm on driver's license photo is like grow it and then shave it clean bald, like the horseshoe thing, and then just a mustache for my driver's license, and
Gross.
then
It sounds like it would be
just weird, huh?
skeezy.
It's funny because this was a Facebook memory today that that I was looking at that Evan a couple years ago. What's that? There's a animated movie, Open Season. Ashton Kutcher was the voice of like this deer thing.
The moose and the,
But there's this couple that are like campers and they're driving around their motorhome and they're in and out of the movie a little bit. But the guy is like this old like hippie guy and he has like the bald top like horseshoe, but then kind of stringy long hair on the sides. And Evan, when he was little, he wanted that haircut because he thought the guy was cool. And so this Facebook memory comes up that he wanted it, but I shaved, ended up like a buzz cut and then enough to take pictures and then just buzz the rest. But anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, on that note,
Christy, sorry. No, I'll get back to good things with Christy. She's great. She's got a big heart for people. And Christy is one of those people that will love you no matter what. Like no matter what.
we all need personal.
We all do. And yeah, she's in your corner and loves you and will support you no matter what. So
Well, thanks, Chrissy, for doing
Yeah.
that with Greg. Because if you didn't,
except for me, she doesn't with me. Just joking. She does.
All right. Well, we're going to
Yeah.
say goodbye. If you have any thoughts or questions, leave them in the comments section or just get a hold of us. Greg,
Yep.
GREGGT at nrf.life or me, Andy S at nrf.life. Hope we will see you this weekend. Have a great rest of the week.
Yeah. See you guys.